Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a piece of the law that affects literally every single person living in Kenya, Chapter 13 of the Constitution. This is all about the public service. We're going to decode the exact legal framework that's actually meant to make government services work for you. So, let's just get right into it.
Now, I want to start with a question I'm almost positive has crossed your mind at some point. Why are government services sometimes just so frustrating in Kenya? Seriously, we've all been there, right? You're queuing for hours at Nio House, or you finally get to the front of the line in an office only to be hit with that legendary phrase, "Kuja kesho, come tomorrow." It's completely exhausting. But what does the law actually say about all this?
Well, that brings us to Chapter 13, which is basically the rules of the game. Whether you're applying for an ID, visiting a public hospital, or just trying to renew a business license, this chapter dictates exactly how you're supposed to be treated. It is literally a constitutional promise made to every single Kenyan.
Section 1. The Public Service Reality.
So, what exactly is a public servant? Basically, it's a government worker whose core existence is to serve you, the citizen. We're talking about the person at the Huduma Center desk, the teachers in public schools, the nurses at your county hospital, or the traffic police on the road. They are all part of the public service. And their primary constitutional mandate is to serve you efficiently and fairly.
Moving on to Section 2, Constitutional Standards of Service. Okay, so Article 232 gets really specific about the exact values these public servants have to uphold. You can kind of think of these as their constitutional KPIs. First up, high professional ethics. Second, using resources efficiently. But the big one for everyday citizens? The prompt, impartial, and equitable provision of services. Prompt means exactly what you think it means. No more unnecessary delays. The law also absolutely demands transparency, and it requires that the workforce represents Kenya's incredibly diverse communities. Remember, you pay taxes expecting exactly these standards.
Which leads us to Section 3, Merit versus Connections.
Now, this right here is the core conflict in the public service today. On paper, the Constitution demands merit, qualifications, accountability, and equal opportunity. Article 232 explicitly states that fair competition must govern appointments. Yet, the reality a lot of Kenyans face on the ground is completely different, right? It's bribes, or kitu kidogo, tribal favoritism, and that whole culture of technical know-who. When getting a job or getting treated faster at a Level 4 hospital depends on your connections instead of the rules, well, that directly undermines the Constitution.
Section 4. The Enforcers, the PSC and the TSC. So, to make sure these rules are actually followed, the Constitution didn't just stop at good ideas. It created powerful, independent referees. On one side, you have the Public Service Commission, or PSC. They oversee the general public service, holding massive power to create offices, appoint staff, and handle discipline. And then on the other side, you have the Teachers Service Commission, or TSC. They are laser-focused purely on the teaching profession, so they recruit, assign, and discipline public school teachers. These institutions were built specifically to enforce the rules of the game.
But hey, what about the good public servants? Because there are plenty of them out there. Well, to keep the system fair, Article 236 offers them a massive shield. It says a public officer cannot be victimized, discriminated against, or fired simply for doing their job according to the law. That means if a public servant refuses a bribe or totally rejects tribal favoritism, they are legally protected from political witch hunts or punishment from their bosses. They're protected for just doing the right thing.
And finally, Section 5, the impact on everyday life.
You see, government efficiency isn't just about convenience. It creates this massive economic domino effect. When services are delivered efficiently under Chapter 13, businesses actually grow faster. Why? Because getting a timely permit means someone can start earning an income immediately. Healthcare and education improve because the TSC and PSC are placing qualified, disciplined professionals exactly where they're needed most. Ultimately, when this whole ecosystem works the way it's supposed to, public trust in the government is built.
But when the systems fail, when the delays, the corruption, and a total lack of merit take over, it's ordinary citizens who end up carrying that heavy burden. Time and money are literally lost queuing up for days. Confidence in our institutions just evaporates. And honestly, the most dangerous part? When trust disappears, even the best government policies fail, simply because the public, the mwananchi, no longer believes in the system trying to implement them.
Which brings us to the end of our breakdown. And I want to leave you with a final, kind of provocative question to think about. What matters more today in Kenya's public service, merit or connections? Look, Chapter 13 of the Constitution is crystal clear on what the standard must be. But it's only by knowing these rules yourself that you can actually demand the service you rightfully pay for. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and be sure to catch our next one as we continue breaking down the systems that shape our daily lives.